Good morning, friends, and welcome to our Southern Sea Otters exhibit. My name is Maddie. I'm a naturalist here at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, standing on the left-hand side of the second floor mezzanine level, giving y'all a wave. Hello, good morning. I'm seeing lots of lovely faces, really excited for what is about to happen. Whether you meant to or not, you are here at the right place at the right time, because some members of our animal care team are about to step into the exhibit to perform a feeding and training session with our Southern Sea Otters. Now we're going to do some quick rearranging so everyone can get the best out of the action. I want everyone to take a look around them, see if you see any little ones or folks in mobility devices that might like to move up toward the windows, so that way everyone can get some of the action today. We also have some monitors right above the windows so you can also see what's going on wherever you are at. I want to thank you folks so much in advance for being mindful of those around you. We're going to be getting started here right at 10:30, so I'm going to hop off mic so you can get acquainted with our Southern Sea Otters. Until then, enjoy. Good morning once again, friends. For those of you just joining us, welcome to our Southern Sea Otters exhibit. You are here at the right place at the right time, because some members of our animal care team are about to step into this exhibit to perform a feeding and training session with our otters. This voice is coming at you from the second floor level on the left-hand side. My name is Maddie. I'm a naturalist here at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. And before these animal care team members enter the exhibit, I'd like to introduce you to who we have here. We have Rosa. She is our oldest otter at 23 years old. She's the most blonde around the face. We've got Ivy. She's a middle child. She is also blonde around the face, but that blonde is extending down towards her belly. We also have Kit, one of the middle children, who's mostly darker. Has got a little bit of blonde around the face. And last but certainly not least is Ruby, our youngest otter at a spry 7 years old, and she's going to be the darkest otter. So now that everybody's in place, from the right to the left, you are going to see you're going to see Ivy, Rosa, Ruby, and Kit from right to left. Now, you'll see that we have a trainer for each sea otter for this session. Now, folks, I want to emphasize that these otters aren't just here for our entertainment. These activities that we're going to be asking these otters to partake in are allowing them to be the starring roles in their own healthcare and welfare. So what you're seeing right now is a natural behavior. Them simply gliding through the water or staying in one spot is an example of something that they would naturally do in the wild. We might also ask them to perform husbandry behaviors. Husbandry is essentially a fancy word for animal care. So you'll see them asking them to participate in a variety of different activities through this session. Now, folks, these otters are being positively reinforced through this session. We believe in positive reinforcement for all of our animals here at the aquarium. So whenever we ask our otters to participate in something and they successfully participate in it, we are sure to reward them with some of their favorite yummy treats. So you can see it looks like we have Ivy on the very right-hand side, kind of on that crate area, and our animal care team member is touching her body. Now this allows us to get up close and personal with these otters to check on their fur coats, their eyes, their paws, their flippers. You can see that the animal care team has a very intimate relationship with these otters because we've developed this care for them so that we can make sure they're living their best lives here with us at the aquarium. It looks like one of the otters has also just decked out onto the rock work. We call it decking out when they exit and then coming back inside. An example of them interacting with the exhibit in new and exciting ways. Same with our otter on the left-hand side who is in the spa area. That's that water area near the rock work. Unfortunately, it's not jet powered and it's not like a hot tub. It is the same temperature as the rest of the exhibit. But again, it's just a way for these otters to interact with the exhibit in unexpected ways. Now, it looks like we have our animal care team member towards the right-hand side, the second to the right. She's got a red and white target in her hand. We'll often ask our otters to touch a part of their body, usually their nose, to those targets. It's a way for us to continue developing that relationship with them so we can check with them. And it looks like that is going to be one of our otters who just got a green ball in her hands. Now, that is a form of an enrichment, something that both mentally and physically stimulates our otters. Looks like that is Ruby. Now, these toys are really cool because we can stuff food inside and they can crack open that toy. They can get into that toy to get the yummy food inside. In the wild, otters typically munch on hard-shelled invertebrates. That's going to be things without a backbone. So think things like sea urchins, clams, crabs. We've done all the hard work for them here on the scenes, and we typically give them the yummy meat or we'll put them inside of one of those toys. So in the wild, they'll crack open those hard shells, but we've learned if we give them those hard shells here on the exhibit, they will crack them against those clear, pristine windows that you folks are currently looking through. So we give them the next best thing. Now, don't worry, they do get those hard shells behind the scenes. Out in the wild, they'll crack open those hard shells with usually a rock from their environment. They've even been known to carry a favorite rock with them over time, which is pretty cool. Now, in the wild, otters typically eat about 20 to 25% of their body weight every single day. That is the average human equivalent of us eating about 25 pizzas every day. Now, I love pizza as much as the next person, but I don't think I could eat 25 in one day. Now, one of the reasons why they do this is so they can keep up a high metabolism in that often cold water out in the Monterey Bay. Another way they stay warm is by grooming. They tend to spend about 3 to 5 hours every single day grooming their fur. So oftentimes, even throughout your visit here, while you're watching them on exhibit, you might see that they're rubbing their paws all over their body. That helps them trap a layer of air between their fur and their skin. They actually have the densest fur coat in the animal kingdom at about 1 million hairs per square inch. That is the size of a postage stamp. For reference, your average house cat has about 1 million hairs over their entire body. So they really need that dense fur coat because they don't have blubber like some of the other animals. So that grooming is crucial for them out in the wild. Now, these otters that you're seeing before you act as stewards for their species. They actually act as surrogate moms for pups that we rescue from the wild. Those pups may have been injured out in the wild or even separated from their moms. So we have the honor of being able to rescue these pups and work to rehabilitate them in the hopes that we can release them back into the wild. These otters here on exhibit have all been deemed non-releasable by the U.S. Department of Fish and Wildlife for a variety of different reasons, but they have that crucially important job of raising these pups that have been rescued from the wild and continuing on that legacy. Now, actually, Ruby, our youngest otter, looks like she's on the right-hand side. She just touched her nose to that red and white buoy. She was actually raised by surrogate otter Gidget. Then she was released back into the wild. However, a fisherman decided to be extra generous and give her an entire box of squid. So she stopped foraging for herself and began relying on humans for her food. So the U.S. Department of Fish and Wildlife did deem her non-releasable. And long story short, she has come back here with us to the Monterey Bay Aquarium to be a mom as a part of the Sea Otter Surrogacy Program. So it's a beautiful full circle moment that she was raised in this program, and she now is able to continue to raise pups in this program. So it's quite encouraging. Now, otters historically were actually hunted to near extinction for those gorgeous fur coats that I was mentioning earlier, down to about 50 sea otters. That's going to be in about the 1800s. Then some folks decided that that wasn't okay. They wanted to preserve this beautiful species. So eventually some laws and legislation were put in place, and now sea otters have started to heal, and we've got about 3,000 sea otters out in what we call the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. So folks, this just goes to show that when you're passionate about something and you want to speak up for the voiceless, real change can occur. So we encourage you to continue to learn about these gorgeous animals and about how you can help preserve them and allow them to heal out in the ocean so we can enjoy them for generations to come. Now, folks, it looks like this feeding has just about concluded, but as you go, I'd like to give you some ideas for how you can help preserve this beautiful species. Now, I'm sensing we've got some ocean fans in the audience today. Maybe you like to surf, kayak, scuba dive, or even just swim through the water. If you ever see a sea otter out in the wild, we recommend keeping about 5 kayak lengths between you and any sea otter that you encounter. A lot of times they are napping on the kelp canopy. That's the surface of the kelp. So it doesn't look like they're doing too much, but that rest is actually crucial to their survival because they're spending so much of their energy feeding and grooming, things of that nature. So we want to make sure that we give them their space for about 5 kayak lengths. Another great way that you can interact and learn more with these sea otters is to head out to our wildlife viewing station on our back deck. You can often see wild sea otters lounging in that kelp canopy that I mentioned, so definitely check that out. And last but certainly not least, we've got a great program at the auditorium called Luna, a Sea Otter Story, all about an otter that the aquarium has rescued, rehabilitated, and released back into the wild. Now we can see that these otters are continuing to munch on the last bit of their food. So I want you folks to enjoy and continue to get acquainted with Ivy, Rosa, Ruby, and Kit. I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Folks, just by entering our doors, you are helping us inspire conservation of the ocean. So from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you so much. I'm going to start to hop off mic to answer any questions. Once again, my name is Maddie. I'm standing on the 2nd floor, mezzanine level on the left-hand side. And if y'all are moving on, I hope you continue to have a pawsome day at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Thank you.